On any major project, there are bound to be multiple modifications to the project scope that occur over time that will result in changes to the budget and schedule. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a project change order in 4castplus. So to start with, I'm going to open this Sea Brent facility project by clicking on it. This first opens to the project dashboard, with the remaining sub-areas of the project across the top split out into tabs, including the Change Order Management tab over here. Now, before change orders come into play on a project, there needs to be a project baseline established. Prior to baseline, 4castplus considers the project to be in planning mode, where the scope, budget, schedule, deliverables, resources, hours, etc. are all still being defined. And once the baseline is confirmed, 4castplus saves a snapshot of the entire project plan at that point in time. Looking here on the dashboard, this project has a baseline budget, as well as a current budget and a pending budget. As this project is well underway, there have been a number of change orders already created and approved, and some still pending approval. To see what that looks like, I'll click on the Change Management tab. Now this top grid shows a list of all change orders that have been created for this project up to this point in time. As change orders go through their various workflow stages of being first an initial proposed change notice, to then approval, to revision, etc., its status, as shown in this column, will reflect its progress. In this project, I have 8 committed and approved change orders, 1 proposed change order, and 1 change order that's been submitted and is currently pending approval. Each change order has a budget for cost, for revenue, and also for labor hours. The actuals for budget, hours, and revenue can also be tracked against a change order. This item here is a budget transfer rather than a change order, and as such, only moves budget within the project and therefore has no overall budget impact. Okay, going back to the dashboard, the current budget, as you can see here, reflects the baseline plus the cost from those 8 approved change orders, and a pending budget shows the current budget plus those 2 pending and proposed change orders I just showed you. Now this can be shown as cost, but also I can show it as revenue and also for labor hours. Now change orders can reflect both modifications to existing scope as well as adding net new scope. Looking at the project's work breakdown structure, it's here that I can add any new activities and their associated cost codes for any net new work that needs to be budgeted into a change order. To see what I mean by that, let me run a quick report in the Reports tab. So this report shows where change orders have affected the activities in the work breakdown structure. The columns here show the baseline, any approved change orders, and the current budget. This activity, 2.1.5, was added to the work breakdown structure after baseline. You can see here that it has no budget at baseline, but it has current budget, which was added as part of a change order. For this activity here, on the other hand, you can see its budget has been modified from its baseline budget of almost $88,000 to over $130,000 as a result of a change order. To find which change order, I can click on the current budget value here, which will pop up a drill down report showing the details of the underlying budget of this item. Now this drill down report shows all the detailed budget items that add up to the $130,000 current budget. In this particular example, it's all materials that are budgeted. So I'll sort this list by change order number so you can see which materials were added at baseline and which were added through a change order. As it turns out, this shows that there have actually been 2 change orders where additional steel materials were added, in number 009 and also in 036. So I'll go back to the change order area to have a look at these. In this change order list, I can see the 009 here and the 036 down here. When I click on a change order, it opens up the details down below like this. Okay, before I go ahead and create a new change order, I want to first point out that changes can apply to not only budget, hours, and schedule, but also to production quantities. To show you what I mean by that, I'll go back to the work breakdown structure. So here on the WBS, you can see that work packages in the WBS can have progressible quantities of any unit of measure. These quantities are intended to represent the number of items that need to be completed or delivered or installed to complete this task. This represents the budgeted quantities against which the actual quantities can be tracked as they're completed over time. So, along with budget, hours, and schedule, these values are locked down at baseline and can be modified as part of a change order. Now, to see all this in action, I'll go create a change order now. I'll create a change order by clicking on New. This pops up a dialog to enter all the change order information, first of which I'll enter a title. I can optionally create a change order or budget transfer. I'll set the reason to be the result of an RFI, and I'll set the change source as customer. For funding source, I can draw down from contingency, fund it internally, or set the customer as the resource of the funds. Setting it to customer will allow me to enter a separate PO number if that's applicable. I can also override the billing method if we want to change how revenue is generated on this change order, if it's different from the contract model of the project. So once I click Save and Next, I'll be given the opportunity to create an estimate for this change order. For that, I'm going to enter an additional 150 linear yards of production quantity for this activity, and also add the applicable hours and budget for the activity. So to add the estimate, I can either use the built-in 4castplus estimating tool, or I can import from an external estimating tool or Excel file. In this example, I've added some budget and some extra hours for QA and inspections, for a total budget as shown here. Additional labor hours shown down here. So now I'll go back to the Details tab of my change order form. And now I'll attach any relevant documents by dragging them and dropping them in here. Okay, now I'll click Save and Close to save this change order. And here, in the change order list, there is my new change order. Notice that its status is Proposed, which will add these amounts to the pending budget. And once this change order is approved, they will be added to the current budget. To commit this change order, I first need to submit it through an approval workflow. To do that, I'll click on Commit. This pops up a window with the available workflows configured for this account. The different workflows can be selected in this dropdown. Administrators can create either direct approval or delegation of authority style workflows which use approval thresholds. In that case, the system will route to the appropriate approver based on the value of the change order and the assigned threshold amount of each approver. So I'll commit, and as you can see, that has been now routed to the first approver in this approval workflow.